Welcome back to ZecsReef. Today, I got a special treat for you. We're going to talk about maintenance and your maintenance schedule. Comment down below, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for the video. I'd really appreciate it. Just to make it easier on you, although every tank is different, so everyone is going to have a different maintenance schedule, but just to make it easy on you, you can download this maintenance schedule that I made. Here's a picture of it at the link at the bottom, this link right here, and then you'll have the maintenance schedule to figure out kind of like when you're supposed to be doing what, if you don't know. So check it out. Aside from the maintenance schedule, which I just told you about, I've got a maintenance log. Download this cool maintenance log at the link below, or you can check in the description. I probably put it in the description too. You can take this maintenance log and you can download it for free. You can share it with people. You can print it up and give it away if you have a store. Whatever you want to do, as long as you leave my little name at the bottom that says, the copyright stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell, all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to go over the maintenance schedule, but just remember this maintenance log, it's going to be here, and we can use it when we're doing the maintenance schedule to kind of get an idea for when we've been doing what. So if a problem arises, or you're trying to figure out how much RODI water you use on a regular basis, or are you overfeeding, you've got a maintenance or a schedule right here of a maintenance log for the dates that you did these things. This is gonna make it really easy for you to maintain your tank. I mean, print it up, it's free. I think I'm just gonna put a book out so you can just buy it for like $5 or $10, and then you have 150 pages of maintenance log or water change log or whatever it may be. So I'm gonna go over like when I think maintenance should be done on average. We're not talking about every single tank has to be done at these intervals. Not even every tank will have all the things that I'm gonna list here today. But this will give you an idea of about how often you should think about changing these different things out. Here we go. Daily maintenance. So every day you should expect to feed your fish coral and invertebrates, do a quick clean of the inside glass. You got a freshwater top off your system, so you need RO water. RODI water is important for so many reasons, but the number one is because it's pure, it's clean. You're not adding any other chemicals or elements to your aquarium that could damage your corals or your fish or something like that. You may not think that there's a lot out there, but there are. There's a lot of heavy metals and stuff that can be in regular water that's safe for you to drink, but it's not safe for your aquarium. So get that RODI system or use the local RODI water from a pet store nearby. Let's talk about weekly maintenance. Weekly, you're gonna wanna replace your sock or filter media. Whether it's a replacement or a cleaning and a replace, whatever. The idea here is it's gonna get dirty and you're gonna wanna change it about once a week. If you have a reusable sock, you can just wash it in the laundry, but don't use soaps and stuff. Just use water and vinegar. Maybe a little bit of bleach if you're really worried about it. Yeah, that'll work. You also need to do skimmer cleaning weekly. So that doesn't mean you have to take the whole skimmer out and like go through the whole thing. That's more like an every 6 months thing or something. What I'm talking about is you take the top off with the cup or whatever it is that collects the skim, and you take that and you rinse it out, you get rid of the garbage that's inside it, and you just wipe it out clean with a clean rag. Just water and a clean rag. That's it. Just give it a wipe, rinse it off, put it back. You also need to do water testing and dosing, probably weekly. I mean, most people who do water testing and dosing, they do it either weekly or more. I mean, I've seen people that dose as much as every single day. They figure out exactly what they have to dose every day to keep their aquarium right where they want it. If you chart how much you're dosing and how often, and you know what your parameters are based on your water testing, then you can just take that and divide it by 7 if it was 7 days that you had to dose to get to a certain point. There you go. All right, so let's talk about maintenance that you gotta do every 2 weeks. So we call this bi-weekly maintenance. These are things like doing a water change. I mean, honestly, for bi-weekly, that's really the number one thing that you gotta do bi-weekly if you're not gonna do it monthly. If you do it bi-weekly, you do like a 20% water change. That should be sufficient. If you're not gonna do the water change bi-weekly, you probably are gonna have to do a 30 or 35% water change. While you're doing that bi-weekly water change, siphon out the debris and detritus that's in there. The fish poo and all that good stuff that nobody really wants to think about that's in their aquarium, but it's definitely in there. How about monthly maintenance? What do you have to do monthly? Well, the number one thing that I think of when I think of monthly maintenance is replacing your reactor or your canister filter media. So if you've got activated carbon or something like that, and your canister or as a filter media inside of like a reactor or a media bag or something like that, about once a month is when I usually recommend people replace it. If you don't feel like it's being spent in that month, then it's probably better to use less until you get to the point to where it's being spent over the course of the month. You don't want that stuff to sit for too long. It becomes a part of the biological filter. I mean, it doesn't really hurt anything, but to me, it's better if you replace it about once a month. You know, monthly, you're also going to want to go around the tank and you're going to want to clean off the salt creep. And that stuff can be pretty dangerous, you know? It can cause electric shock, it can cause fire, it can cause all types of trouble. So if you're having salt creep, make sure at least once a month you're going through your system and you're cleaning it off and you're checking your drip loops to make sure that no salt water can run down into an outlet or a power supply. Drip loops, salt creep check, monthly. Drip loops, salt creep check, monthly. Drip loops, salt creep cleaning, monthly. Also monthly, if you're not doing bi-weekly water changes, you're gonna wanna do like a 35% water change once a month. You might be able to go up to 40, but I'd be very careful going over 35. I mean, you're already changing out a considerable amount of the water, so 35 is probably the best way to go if you ask me. Let's talk about bi-monthly maintenance. Like, what stuff do you have to do bi-monthly, Zach? I don't know, but yeah, no, I know. Bi-monthly, so every other month, we're gonna wanna do things like take the pumps out and run them in vinegar water. So you take water and vinegar and you put it in a bucket, and then you put the pumps in the bucket and you run the pumps. And it takes away the calcium buildup and the deposits and stuff like that and cleans it up, makes it run a lot healthier and better for many years to come. You also want to trim excess growth off of corals or corals that are warring with each other. You know, they use chemical warfare, so if they get really close to each other, you'll start to see dead pieces of coral and where they like shrivel up and stuff when they're trying to, you know, get near each other. Those are the spots where they're warring. So warring, 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 warring. This word right here, when they're at war with each other. Those are good times to trim the coral up, create some frags, something like that. Every couple months, you're also gonna wanna go over the tank and you're gonna wanna look for leaks, you know? This could be part of your checking for salt creep and stuff monthly, but in general, you should check the edges and the cracks where the glass meets the glass, the bushings, the places where there's been holes drilled in it and stuff. You wanna check and make sure that none of those places are leaking or pulling apart. But I think that it's important to do it at least every couple months. All right, let's talk about 6-month maintenance. Things we gotta do during the 6-month maintenance line are like replacing T5 bulbs or replacing metal halide bulbs or any bulbs like that. About every 6 months they start to shift spectrum, and you know, if you have a really good quality one, it could last a little bit longer. If it's a lower quality one, it might not last as long. And I don't mean LEDs, because those last longer. We'll talk about that in a minute. Rejuvenate the cleanup crew, you know? These little guys, they wind up getting ripped up by crabs, and other crabs kill crabs, and your fish eat them, and the snails get killed by crabs and by the fish. And basically, you gotta replace your cleanup crew on a regular basis. About every 6 months, you don't have to replace the whole crew, but you wanna throw a refresher in there. And you know, depending upon what size your tank is, you might wanna put in 10 or 15 hermits and snails about every 6 months. It could be a lot more if it's a bigger tank. You should also test or replace batteries in your pumps and stuff. So like, I brought a bunch of stuff out here and I didn't wind up using any of it for the video, but this is one of the most important things you should really think about having for your aquarium. This is a power pack, and basically it doesn't require me to replace batteries, but it does require me to test it. If the power goes off when this is plugged in, then it will automatically turn on. You heard me right. If this is plugged in when the power goes out, it will automatically turn on. And then these bubbling stones will be inside the aquarium because they should be in there all the time, and they'll help keep your tank alive till the power comes back on. Hopefully, if it's not too long. I mean, this one's supposed to be good for 24 hours. I've never really had to go that long except for during a hurricane. And when a hurricane happened, man, I had so many of these with battery backups everywhere. And I just kept switching them out. New batteries, you know? Make sure you got your check valves in there. Your check valves will ensure that water doesn't come back and go back into the pump or drain onto the floor or something like that. These things work great. I'm gonna put a link down below for this very specific one that I bought on Amazon. Yes, it's an affiliate link. If you buy something from it, I could make a small commission. It's not a lot. I've never made commission off of it before, so you could be a first, you know? Hey, why not? Hook me up. At least at the time of making this video, I've never made commission off of Amazon for this stuff. But anyway, check these out. They're really important and they're really good to have. All right, so about every 3 years, your lights will shift spectrum if you have LEDs. LEDs are good for usually about 10,000 hours before they start to shift spectrum, and that's approximately 3 years. It's not exactly 3 years. 3 years is like 10,900 hours or something like that, but it's about 3 years. So about every 3 years, you're gonna wanna replace your LEDs or have them rejuvenated with new bulbs. I mean, some of the companies you could send the LEDs to, and they'll replace the bulbs and send you the unit back for a decent amount of money, which saves you about half, maybe a little bit more. Check out some of those companies. I don't know which ones are doing it right now, but there are companies that do that. Also, about every 3 years, you're gonna wanna replace some of your pumps, you know, and other just general equipment. I'm not saying you have to after 3 years, but you should be prepared to, especially if you wanna stay up to date on the latest and greatest technology, like wave makers and aquarium controllers and the newest skimmer, whatever it may be that you're looking for, reactors, skimmers, you know, whatever. Try to check it out. About every 3 years, you want to either rejuvenate it by taking it apart, cleaning it really good, maybe buying some new seals, some new pieces for it, any type of rebuild kit that you can get, and putting it back together that way. So you have something that's kind of rejuvenated and ready to go for the next 3 years, you know, or at least a couple. They can start fraying at the ends, you know, the electrical and stuff, and start causing voltage to be leaked into the aquarium, which, by the way, you should totally have a grounding probe, something that looks like this. And you know what? I'm going to link to the grounding probe in the description below also, because grounding probes are important and you should definitely get a grounding probe. And this is the one that, you know, I would buy for my tank. If I'm going to link something below, it's something I would buy for my aquarium. So there's some of the things you should be thinking about when it comes to maintenance with your aquarium. You can hire someone to come out and do them, you know, weekly or bi-weekly or monthly or whatever, but you're not going to get away from having to do at least something for your aquarium. So get this maintenance log sheet, download it on my website, link below, and and on that website I also have the maintenance schedule, which you could download at this link below, totally free. That's right, they're free. And there's another thing that I put on there too. You can look in the download section of my website and you'll see the free stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm trying to put all these out as I make them so you guys can have copies of them, or you guys and ladies, or whatever your pronoun is. Oh, pronouns. I'm not ready for that. Don't forget the maintenance log. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you want to see more of, or what you want to see me do next. If you really want to see me do, like, I don't know, taking a T5 set apart and putting them in a hood to replace the T5 bulbs, or whatever. You want to see me do something like that? Cool, let's do it. But you gotta tell me in the comments below. And then you gotta like, subscribe, ring the bell, share the video, and comment down below. And make sure you watch the video again. I would love it. You can just watch it twice. I don't mind. I don't mind. It doesn't cost me any extra when you watch the video a second time. So check it out. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Well, you know, as soon as I make another video, which will be coming up. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. I will see you soon. Oh, you know what? Just got all this stuff over here. Do whatever. See you next time.